Over 20 years ago, the Nashua Lions Club began recognizing a Teacher of the Year. It came about because we had a number of retired teachers and a couple of active teachers in the club, and nobody in the city was recognizing anyone in the field of education. Police, fire, EMS were being recognized, but not the teachers. So we launched it, and it's kind of ironic. The first recipient was Robin Peringer. She teaches art at Nashua High School. Robin is retiring this year. She was our first. And over time, we've had a number of teachers from both North and South, Bishop Girton, Charlotte Avenue, Dr. Crisp, Bicentennial, Birch Hill, and as I mentioned at the outset, the Brentwood School. And it's really nominations that are sent in. Any public school or private school educator can be nominated by anybody. And we get them, and a committee, and this year we found some folks outside of the club, get the redacted nominations. And then anyone who isn't selected this year, we keep them for a year and throw them back into the mix. So that's what we did this year. And this nomination, the original one, came from Heather O'Connor, who is a special ed case manager at the Brentwood School. And she wrote to the committee, "I'm writing to nominate Mrs. Stephanie Thomas of Brentwood Academy, a small therapeutic alternative school in Nashua, for Teacher of the Year. I've had the honor of teaching with her approximately 4 years. Brentwood serves a very small population, only 30 students. However, the student profile is such that they require a separate setting because of their social, emotional, and behavioral needs. Because of this, there can be a high burnout rate. Mrs. Thomas has been the art teacher at the school for many years. She teaches a variety of classes: jewelry making, crafts, the history of rock and roll, health and art therapy, to name a few. Despite the small size of our school, Mrs. Thomas shows much pride and community as the larger high schools in Nashua. She works to display the art created by her students in art shows, central office, and within the community. She has a passion and high expectations of all students. She holds kids accountable and will always ask questions if she needs additional ways to support her students. She is also very much a team player. With only a staff of 10, we always need someone to cover their class, take bus duty, etc. And Ms. Thomas is there to help. She also goes above and beyond to create unique experiences for our students. Recently, she organized a cultural day in which staff shared their culture and special food to share with the students. In our new building on Franklin Street, she has dedicated her own time to beautify our building with painted murals. Mrs. Thomas is deserving of Teacher of the Year. She encompasses all of the above and more, and I'd love to have this opportunity to talk to you more about it. Unfortunately, Heather couldn't be with us here tonight, but the principal of the school is here tonight, and I'd like to ask Greg to come up and say a few words, please.
Good evening. Thank you for having us here this evening. That's the first time I've heard Heather's nomination, actually, and that was well said, and a lot of the things I was going to say. I think as I was sitting here listening to you folks and talking about teaching, and it's about giving and giving back, and you folks are doing that, and the Lions Club has always been very generous to, particularly I remember with students that needed help with glasses or vision, and I've been in special ed for 30 years teaching. I've been an assistant principal, and I want to thank you for always helping us out. I think one of the most giving people and most dedicated people is Stephanie. I started working with Stephanie about 5 years ago. During COVID, I left education, decided to go back into education during COVID. And so one of the things I do remember the most, though, is walking into the building and there was this amazing mural, and it was all New Hampshire themed, and it had like different people are from New Hampshire and different showcases we have in New Hampshire, the ocean, the old man on the mountain, and all this. And I was like, wow, that's really cool. I hadn't even really met Stephanie yet, but I could tell. There was also she made these really cool, really neat pizza boxes. She always recycles everything. So pizza boxes, made them into animals, like animal faces, and they had eyes and stuff. So I'm walking down the halls and there's all these neat things. So she really is the heart and soul of our school. And I can't tell right now if she's probably blushing. She's a very humble person, and doesn't look for accolades, and just does her job. And it's amazing. We work with a very challenging group of students, which we all love very much, but they can be a lot. And Stephanie's always, working on her lesson plans, or getting things prepped, or thinking about a new idea. And every now and then I'll get an email and just say, hey, I was thinking about maybe working with the kids on this. She's actually working on another New Hampshire mural down in our conference room. So what Heather said is true. The amount of work I think that Stephanie puts in behind the scenes, and anybody, I know there's some teachers out here, know that it's not just when you go there with the students. When you're with the students, you're fully engrossed and doing your job, and it's the behind the scenes stuff that makes teachers go above and beyond. And I can truly say that Stephanie encapsulates what an educator and teacher wants to exemplify. And I'm just very proud to work with her, and I've been fortunate enough for the past 5 years to be in a position to call her a coworker and a friend. So with that, I think I forgot to bring up my flowers. I was going to give Stephanie, so I'll get those after. But this is truly a wonderful honor, and I really admire you all for taking the time to recognize education. It's truly a rewarding profession. Trying to get younger people to see the value in a profession that has a lot of pride to it is something that we all strive to do. And I could have them talk with Stephanie, and then they'd probably be willing to join us. So thank you very much, and I've really enjoyed this evening. And thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you, Greg. Chris McCollum is a colleague, and wanted to say a few words. Chris?
Sure. I thought I might get away with not having to say anything, so I'm going to give you a moment just to get used to the accent. I wasn't born here. I won't repeat a lot of stuff. I'm going to tell you a parable, and this is Stephanie. So one day we decide that we're all going to go walk along a riverbank, and we go for a hike along the river, and we notice as educators there's a child in the river screaming, crying, help me, help me. And what we do as teachers and educators is jump in the river and save children, and that's what we do a lot of the times. Brentwood, I'm only new to Brentwood Academy. I'm not new to education. I've been around a long time, even though I look so youthful. I know. However, what Brentwood, I sometimes describe this to the community and communities beyond. We're like the outpost for Nashua kids. But this is the last hope for Nashua kids who are really struggling in the big school setting, in the big high school setting. What we do, the work we do, getting them ready to become members of the community is really, really important work. And Steph has been part of that job for a long time. She is one of the backbones of our teaching staff and is able to reach students on a different level. So let me get back to the story. So anyway, we go on this hike up the river, we're saving children out of the water, and now, rolling up the sleeves, Greg jumps in, off he goes, he's the boss, he's going to show how it's done. We're saving children. We look around, Steph is missing in action. Where is she? We don't have time because we're too busy saving the lives of children. Very, very important job to do. Steph's still missing. We save all of the children. We get them all out. They're all drying off. We're drying off. And down comes Steph from somewhere upstream. And we say to her, Steph, where were you when we most needed you? And Steph says this. She says, you know, I got to thinking, like, these kids must have been coming from somewhere. So I went upstream and I discovered that there was a bridge up there that had broken and the kids were falling in the water. So I repaired the bridge upstream and that stopped the flow of children. And the parable sort of emphasizes this. This is what type of person Steph is. She's going upstream. Yes, we do have to deal with students as they are, but she takes the time to look upstream in all of these children's lives to find out where they were broken, where they needed the help, and she can go back that far. And in her gentle, quiet way, we can see great success with the kids that come out of that art room. So that's it for me. Everything else has been said. Thank you very much, and thank you very much for your work. You know, when I listen to all the jobs you're doing, that sounds like one of my staff meetings. We're trying to get staff to involve themselves. So thank you for that work, and thank you for everything you do for the community. Thank you.
Thank you, Chris. Now, Stephanie, if you would come up, please. It's customary that our Teacher of the Year gets presented with a crystal apple. And it is our pleasure and honor to present this to you for all the great things that you've done over your career. And I know that you're going to continue to do until that last day before you walk out and retire. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Now, in addition, and I say this every year because I'm married to a former teacher, this is a check from the club. It's for you. And I'm not even going to bother to tell you, don't spend it on your students because you're probably going to do that anyway. But seriously, this is for you and your family to enjoy some time together on us. And thank you for what you do.
Thank you. Something out. Hold on. I've got I kind of, hold on one second. Folded it up in a million folds in my hand here. Okay. Something, recycled paper. Thank you so much to the Lions Club for this honor. It's typical for teachers to go about their work without recognition, so I can't express how much this is appreciated. Especially from the Lions Club, which is such an outstanding and productive presence. It was really amazing hearing about all of the different things you do in the community. In accepting the award, I want to add my firm belief that no one is ever successful alone. It takes a strong team and a strong school community in order for a teacher to be successful in the classroom. With that said, I thank Brentwood Academy for the strong leadership and staff there that allow me to do the line of work that I absolutely love to do. I went into teaching because I wanted to serve my community, and it was very clear that this was my career path. And for that, for that reason, and Brentwood allows me the space to do that in the most creative way, so I feel very lucky. Last but not least, adding to the belief that no one is ever successful alone, I want to thank my family, my husband, Steve, and our 3 boys, Tage, Dev, and Kai. They're the 4 people I'm closest to in the world and my 4 closest friends. I couldn't possibly have the energy to do what I do and be grounded as I am, which allows me to serve others without their love and support. Working with this population that we work with at Brentwood and seeing the positive changes in our students' lives, it's important, good work. It feels fantastic to have our school recognized. Thank you again to the Lions Club. It's an incredible honor.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you so much for all that you have done and will continue to do. And when I went to the school to inform her that she had been selected, it was a Friday, so I figured, hey, it should be quiet, no problem. She wasn't there. They were on a field trip. Greg was in a meeting, and the receptionist said, well, is this important? I said, yeah, kind of. And I got the chance while I was waiting for Greg to finish his meeting to see that mural in the lobby. Very impressive. And I'm a little familiar with Brentwood when it was previously housed in Merrimack, and John Richards was in charge of it. And what you and all of your colleagues do there, it's really extra special. So thank you and congratulations. You truly are Teacher of the Year. Thank you very much.